Hey everybody, clearing. Back by popular demand. I bet you didn't even know that you wanted to see this again, but here you go. Okay, so today we're going to get into what the divine counterparts are kind of getting wrong at this stage. I mean, there are no rights and wrongs really, it's all growth, but let's see what the divine masculines are fumbling in the energy at this time, if anything. What can we see? Okay, so being neutral about this love. So that happens to the divine feminines as well. When we think non-attachment means pretending not to love someone, that's not non-attachment. You are completely permitted to love with all your heart. You don't have to pretend you don't have feelings. That puts a lot of people into suffering. So this is something, divine masculines, you might want to reconsider. You are completely allowed to adore your feminine. What can we get for advice regarding that? Yeah, there's a little bit of a mirroring going on, because here's a pining divine feminine that is feeling melancholy on behalf of both counterparts. Divine masculines, if you allow yourselves to actually prefer your feminine and let the love in, your feminine doesn't look like such a pining weirdo by contrast. So it's time to even that playing field and carry some of that onus, divine masculines. Okay, a whole bunch of other cards came out. I haven't looked at them yet. So what else are the divine masculines fumbling with their consciousness right now? The anxiety to come forward. There is a pressure that you're putting on yourself, divine masculines, that it has to be a certain kind of way. There are old energy hangover beliefs that are infiltrating your peace of mind and still making you feel a little bit like there's an expected way to show up, that the shoes are too big, that, you know, the perfectionist stuff, that it has to be kind of perfect before you come forward or not at all. That kind of thing is putting too much pressure. You don't have to be something you're not. Oof, that's such a good one. Divine masculines, you don't have to be something you're not. And you can be honest with yourself that you love your divine feminine. Like, this energy is ratting you out, divine masculines. Yeah, so another thing is you're not so trapped and powerless in the 3D. You're all up in your head about certain things. This is actually quite logical why you're not coming forward in some ways, because you think you're not supposed to, you know, show that you really do love. I want to go like shame divine masculines, but you think you're not supposed to show emotion, right? Show being smitten with your feminine. You are allowed to do that. Watch how your divine feminine melts in your hands when you allow yourself to be that safe and that free in these connections. Just see what you kind of get in return. The other thing you're all trapped and powerless is that perfectionist stuff, that you have to be a certain kind of way that's fake, that is not you, that, you know, you just are supposed to be genuine. So wow, 10 of burden, 10 of rock bottom, overthinking, abandonment wound. So what can I get for these? I think we need the other ones here. Yeah, what I'm getting with this in the reverse is that you're not seeing how far you've come. It's like you've had a growth spurt that's ending this burden and overcoming the loveless templates, and you're not even recognizing it because you're so stoic going towards these ideals, the disintegrated masculine ideals that would say you can't be mushy and in control, or, you know, it has to be perfect before you come forward. You've also outgrown a lot of those templates, but you haven't seen that in yourself. And so you're still thinking that you're enslaved to certain things, when in fact, do a reality check. Scan yourself. Are you still that serious? Another thing that's being fumbled is, wow, look at all this battle energy. 5 of Wands and 7 of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune. This is kind of like that you have to go it alone without divine assistance. It's like still a little bit in ego that it's hard work and that there's a lot of foe to overcome. So there's less conflict regarding these connections than you think, divine masculines. And you can just sort of say, I would need it to be easy now. I don't want it to be this hard. This is kind of like stubbing your toe on purpose, divine masculines. You don't have to be doing that. Okay, let's get one more little bit of advice. How do the divine masculines, that was like a kick in the butt, but what else can we see for the divine masculines for advice? Yeah, drop into the energy. This is the telepathic connection, the energetic read on your connection. Really feel into it. Clear your mind. Dare to question what you think is reality, and ask yourself with all curiosity, open-hearted, open-minded, am I getting that right? Does my divine feminine need me to be those things that I'm trying to uphold subconsciously here? Beautiful. Okay, let's have a quick look at what the feminines... Yeah, I'm gonna put those back. So I'm just gonna shuffle for a minute and put those back in the deck and see what the feminines are muddling in the energy at this time. So thank you, Divine Creator. What are the feminines muddling at this time? Oh, well, here's the 8 of Wands in this deck and Queen of Pentacles. So disbelief that you could be chosen, that your counterpart would want you as the equivalent of wifey material or not, like that you can't have it in this life, or you can't be the full choice, like for all to see. There's something about almost good enough here, divine feminines. Don't settle for almost good enough. Go for your gold, divine feminines. You don't have to concede with some sort of pretense that, oh, if I just ask for a little bit of this connection, then I might get it. Instead of saying, I want it all, 100% in, all in. So divine feminines, if you're like, I just want them to be happy, what about you? What about your happiness? What about knowing what you want and asking the universe for that? This is the message, divine feminines. Okay, and the other thing feminines are muddling is walking away because of karmic partners, because of third party, that this connection can't move forward if there are like a waiting game for the masculines to walk away from third parties. You have much more ability to shift the dynamic regarding the karmic situations with your masculines by going all in, divine feminines, by not giving the universe this convoluted, mediocre kind of ask. So divine feminines, go all in. What can we see for advice? And understand that when you step into your full empowerment, if this is really your counterpart, you know, your dream partner, go for it. No karmic situation can stand against love if it is not of love. So what is the advice for the feminines? Put down the fight. Choose your man, I heard, but choose your masculine. Trust the soul connection. Let everything else fall away. Go all in. Purify, divine feminines. Yeah, see through the confusion. Stop deferring in the energy to your counterpart and choose in your heart to really see yourself as worthy of it all. Oh, that was really nice. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna do, I was told the 7 chakra points of intimacy. So we're going to do the Erotic Tarot and get some intimacy cards. And then feminines, yeah, we'll do feminines on the left, masculines on the right. I'm going to do intimacy cards and what's that, sensuality. We're going to get this energy regardless if we use the Erotic Tarot or this one, apparently, so that goes hand in hand. But let's see, so this will be the chakra levels. So thank you, Divine Creator, for bringing through the intimacy points on all the chakra levels. How is the intimacy deepening in these connections? How is unity consciousness coming in on all the levels through the sensual, intimate lens? What can we see for the feminines? Oh my gosh, the little acupuncturists are at it again. What can we see for the feminines regarding each of these chakra energies? How are the feminines interacting with, aligning with, navigating the energies? And what can we see for the masculines? Oh, you guys, we just have a few more days to opt in for the Washington Crystal Dig. So if you've been getting nudged to maybe reach out and ask for information on an epic crystal mining adventure in the backcountry, in climbing ropes, no climbing experience necessary, it's just for safety, but it is a little bit of a strenuous hike. There are sleeping cabins, etc., etc. Hit me up in the comments below. Okay, chakras. So crown chakra, King of Shells, King of Cups. This is getting divine guidance to open up energetically, emotionally to each other, and divine feminine, open up to divine feminine. So yeah, divine masculines, all those messages in the beginning about you have arrived at good enough, you've grown beyond what you think you have, and it's time to start becoming emotionally transparent. Your divine feminine is safe, but divine feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side. Yeah, it's time to soften up and get mushy and love divine masculines, allowing it to express itself openly. So this is integrating your own internal divine feminine energy, divine masculines, and divine feminines. This is you becoming receptive to the love that is actually coming from your external counterpart. This is you allowing that, not blocking it, not talking over, not running away before you can hear something out of fear it might not be good, all that stuff, divine feminines. Allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all creation. So this is about growth, I just heard. This emotional transparency and opening up is human growth. This is a statement for all humans, a permission for all humans to become more authentic, I just heard. So let's see, King of Shells. Oh, little acupuncturist, it's a little bit itchy. King of Shells. When unbalanced, this king can pursue his emotional whims to damaging extremes. So divine masculines need to talk about the imbalances that have occurred and to take full accountability for those things. Because, you know, as much as divine masculines are vindicated through following intuitive guidance, and I'm an advocate for that, there are some things that haven't been necessarily done in safety. So divine masculines, it's time to really ask higher guidance, what are those things that you could soften, that you could balance out, that you don't need to do anymore? Like, how can you, instead of reverse psychology and testing the connections, can you come into increased safety where you actually say what you mean rather than opposite day, so that your feminine doesn't have to do the guesswork. This is your permission to be authentic masculines, and feminines to actually hear them out. Listen to your feminine or to your masculine. This is communication coming in the most transparent, delightful ways to balance the scales with reciprocity. Okay, so the feminines are experiencing this. 7 of Coins immediately. So you don't see it coming with the sun in the reverse. Your divine counterpart is trying to send you telepathic messages, energetic messages, text messages, have a phone call, talk deeper. Your counterpart is trying to open up, so be aware that it could surprise you, Divine Feminines, and catch yourself. Tell yourself right now, mental note to self, don't dismiss anything that kind of catches you as atypical behavior right now, because they're feeling testing the water right now, Divine Feminine. So it's on you to immediately get your wits about you and see certain things in a different light that you may not have seen that way before. Masculines, well, I just snuck a peek and we've got Queen and King of Pentacles. That's my married couple. That's my physical 3D couple. But the crown chakra is talking about the Divine Feminine here. So Divine Masculines are wishing for you to be their life partner. They're one and only, I just heard. And so this emotional spilling the beans, transparency, possibly clumsy, or tentative but emerging, is because they see you as the one, Divine Feminines. So before you go and block it out of habit, please, Divine Feminines, realize your divine counterpart is mustering uncharted territory things right now. That's so beautiful. Okay. This is coming forward energy, and you may not see it coming, Divine Feminines. Okay, for the third eye chakra, 8 of Roses. So this is putting in the work, the intuitive work and realization. So the third eye is our friend right now, because we've never been clearer, more love-based, and able to interpret the things coming to us through the lens of love, not fear. So we've done a whole lot of clearing work, and now we've got the ability to actually see what's being said, to have eyes to see and ears to hear the love that each is bringing to the table. Even in hindsight, instead of the pain storylines, we can really see where there has been spaciousness. I'm even hearing blocking and self-preservation because we haven't wanted to add more insult to injury. But there are some realizations happening right now on the third eye. How great. So the frequency of realization supports our internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, more love, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in the world. So what better place to work on expressing in the highest than with these divine counterpart relationships? We are partners in the love crime, like that. So who better to be laid bare with than each other? What is the 8 of Roses all about? That is the 8 of Pentacles in other decks. Okay, a regular and reliable arrangement or resource. Sometimes we just want someone who can comfortably deliver. So it's about just relaxing and being ourselves. This realization that this is the one person. It's reminding me of what my dad used to say about my sister and I growing up. Like, be nice to each other because you're the only sibling each of you has, and you're stuck with each other for life. You're gonna be happy that you get along when you're older. That's the same kind of thing, twins. We're in this together. Like, you've got each other. That's an invaluable resource. And a regular and reliable arrangement or resource. Like, tap this resource. Utilize your twin connection for safety, for love, for expressing yourself, for, you know, being transparent and maybe fumbling, getting it wrong. But how many testing cycles have happened here? We are standing the test of time with our counterparts. So have at it, everybody. Like, loosen up and stop putting so many conditions on communication or saying or doing the wrong thing, and just, you know, let it in. What can we see for the feminines regarding this realization? 5 of Cups, let go of the past about the, you know, commitment not coming in prematurely. I've got the King of Pentacles here in the upright for the masculines. I've been getting this kind of thing a lot in the recent readings where there will be the same card, but one is in the upright and one is in the inverse. And I keep doing this yin yang thing. Like, we are seriously getting this so many more times right now with readings that it is mirroring to this nth degree. But Divine Feminines, this is about letting go of the pain storylines, about why commitment hasn't come in, why it hasn't developed faster, all of that, and just looking at the love and establishing the love. Like, have this realization that there has been a journey, and that doesn't negate the love here. Really open your consciousness to see that some of the things that you've judged as you not being worthy of making the cut with your counterpart, it's actually, you know, divine protection. Rejection is divine protection, although it's not really rejection. It's actually just spaciousness for the becoming. And the King of Pentacles, with curiosity, the masculines are testing the water with opening up and coming towards you with this tentative communication. What can we see for the I was going to say the manifestations, but the throat chakra, the communication coming in. Ooh, Page of Candles and Miracle. So there is a third party situation going on there. And Miracle 33. The frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as part of Source, and therefore our belief anything is possible. So even the third party things, and specifically, I'm just gonna cover this card, specifically that there will be a lack of fidelity in these unions. Karmic situations always have a infidelity because there isn't a pure connection. There isn't true love. And so we're faking it. You know, any less than love connection, anything out of convenience, it stands to reason that there would be room for other energies. But with these true twin, purified, perfect connections, how could there ever be anyone else? So that's the miracle here, is if the love is real, you don't have to worry that there is going to be something that will threaten. But what does the Page of Candles say in communication? Because we are going to be talking about certain... I just heard those things don't turn me on. So both the twins are going to be communicating that they're not actually on the deepest levels turned on by other people in the mix. This can be admitting to each other that they are each all the other one would need, that they don't desire to sow their wild oats, that there's no other counterpart or no other wish that is unfulfilled in these connections. So Page of Candles, not just a playmate, but also a good friend, someone trustworthy and loyal, with whom you can let your guard down and be yourself. That's already come through. So this is the miracle, that we found people that we can be ourselves with truly. The Page of Candles really gets you, and the two of you have a level of comfort around each other that makes lovemaking easy, natural, and nourishing. In other words, the perfect fuck buddy or wing person when you're on the prowl. But this is like not on the prowl for anything other than good, pure adventure together, not necessarily on the prowl for others. And that's the miracle, is that it feels like partners in crime. I already got that message coming through. So how are the feminines approaching this conversation of not needing anyone else? King of Swords, this is the higher truth, because they've tested beyond what meets the eye in the 3D, and they know firsthand there's no faking it. They've tried other counterparts, they've looked at other scenarios, they've searched their heart, and they've come to the ultimate truth that nobody stands a chance energetically to you, divine masculine. So if you've been worried, masculines, that your feminine has room in their heart of hearts for someone else, it's not true. If somebody is flat out giving you that indication they are not your divine counterpart. And the masculines, 10 of Cups and 7 of Cups. So yeah, it's time, divine masculines, to really get honest with what you really want. You know, do you Are you deluding yourself or lying to yourself about options or about what would really make you happy because you're still thinking that there is a right and wrong masculine approach to sensuality and all of that? So this is a miracle. You're going to suddenly see that you actually don't need anyone other than your divine counterpart. What is the heart chakra energy coming in? 8 of Candles. This is that energetic knowing between the two. And perception, the unique perception that unites the two. You know, nobody else can feel the connection that you feel for your divine counterpart. This is on the heart of hearts. This is on the heart space. And it is the unique perception of each counterpart that acknowledges this connection. So the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. So yeah, divine masculines, this is where you really do ask yourself, will other options satiate, or is my divine counterpart the only one? If you know they are, don't fear that your counterpart is going to be tempted by someone else, because your heart doesn't lie. Your heart doesn't lie, and this is the perception. Take a good hard look at what you think to be real. Cards are blowing off the table. The winds of change coming in to clear that. So yeah, trust the energetic knowing, and trust that it's a mutual thing. What you want is wanting you. So how's this perceived by the feminines right now? Yeah, King of Coins. There is the commitment. How many kings and queens of coins have we seen? This is the holding on. Your feminine's not going anywhere. Feminines, you are having it affirmed to you that this connection is the be all end all. This is what you want. King of Swords, this is your truth, and this is your perception. So everybody's being asked to take on the heart space a deep, hard look at how much love you have for this person. Why is that? That is not unfounded. Honor it. Own it. Don't defer to them. Trust what you feel. There's a reason you feel that. Proclaim it. Speak it out. Represent it. Live in it. Live from that place. Know it. What are the masculines experiencing? Yeah, 3 of Swords in the Tower. Divine masculines, this is like basically a major revelation about third party or spreading your, I wanted to say spreading your seed too thin. And having to have multiple partners, or the fear that your feminine would. Like, this angst can go away. You don't have to, put yourself in jealousy way. You don't have to go there. You don't have to be in the competition lack, safeguarding your heart by keeping an open relationship. You don't have to pretend that you think your feminine should go and be with other people if you don't want that. And if you are not satiated by that, don't delude yourself or your feminine. Don't pretend, divine masculines. This just perpetuates heartache. If it's convoluted, if you're saying one thing but you mean another, take a good hard look at what you think is true about sexuality and about unconditional love. It is not non-monogamy. You're allowed to know that you have a profound connection with one person that supersedes every other option, and to own that. This is the core for a happy life, I just heard, in union. Trust that energetic perception that each are the preference, that if you are truly, authentically preferring someone, dare to believe that they are preferring you, but there's just been some awkward energy trying to share that with each other. What can we see on the solar plexus chakra? Ooh, the sun on the solar plexus chakra. And dynamic. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that's made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. So there's no preparation. When we're in the dynamic, unadulterated flow in these connections, we are ingenious, industrious. We work with what we are given in every moment to the fullest of our capacity. We don't need to see all of the options, all of the circumstances. We don't need to know all those details. We don't need to be hyper vigilant. When we're truly empowered, we're just good. We're flow masters. We're just rolling with it. And when there is no fear that there is mixed loyalties. Because of this heart space knowing that it's an unadulterated connection, as we come into affirming that and really surrendering to that and aligning with it, this dynamic duo, it's like hitting the world to which the likes of the world, what is that? To this empowered couple, the likes of which the world has never seen. That's the kind of thing. And we don't have to know what that has to look like. This is that perfectionist stuff coming in. Again, divine masculines, you don't have to be perfect to come into these connections, because when you are on the same team, when you've got each other's backs like that, the dynamic energy that stems from that safety, you don't have to prepare. You don't have to be a love prepper to find counterparts. You can just roll with it. What are the feminines empowered in this way? Page of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. So surrendering. Page of Cups is the surrender. It is the allowance. It's the receptivity to not needing to have it all figured out, not needing to know how it will all turn out, just trusting the love and just continuing to surrender to the process and say yes to it, to receive. What are the masculines experiencing? The universe and the end of the Three of Swords. So we just got this major revelation about third-party energy and how that drama screws up relationships. And the end of it, we got the final end of it, the final end where the masculines think that third-party situations are a good idea. Whoa. Once that's gone, all of a sudden, this dynamic energy comes in. What can we see on the sacral chakra? Hubba hubba. Nine of Roses. So this is the autonomous, not single. That's how I'm reading it in this. Oh, and we get the solar plexus. So this dynamic empowerment, this safety that's coming in on the solar plexus, that is, you know, the third earth chakra. That's our ego or humility out into the world. In the sacral chakra, there's a deep empowerment that we're in it together, a teamwork. The frequency of solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So this generation of sensual energy is empowering as you make love, as you come together, as you celebrate through intimacy, through pleasure together. You are empowered to channel that out into the world in such a permission of love unfolding out and changing the world. Because you're in it together, there is this unbreakable alchemical thing that is empowering the two as you allow yourselves to go very deep into these sensual unions. What can we see for the feminines? Yeah, the Three of Coins and Wheel of Fortune. This is more than meets the eye, the 3D. All of this energy, this becoming, that's the silent becoming under the surface that's been welling up like lava under the surface. I just heard of the 3D. It's been this slow burning becoming. This is ready to erupt, dare I say, in orgasmic, innovative ideas coming through these connections. What can we see for the masculines? Six of Wands and unconditional love. So Six of Wands is the public recognition of these connections. So whatever the stigmas are or the cliche things that wouldn't be typically acceptable about these relationships, so that's religion and age differences and gender and life circumstances and money and political views, music taste, you name it. Like someone likes dogs, someone likes cats. We're not going to be embarrassed anymore. Divine masculines are saying unconditional love says I can love who I want and it doesn't matter. Just because something isn't typically seen doesn't mean that it's not worthy of making and normalizing in the name of love. So yeah, this incredible pleasure and empowerment that's coming from these sensual connections is empowering the masculines to overcome any of the stigmas about why these relationships haven't been common knowledge in broad daylight on the planet. What can we see for the root chakra? Knight of Roses and change. This is a pentacle or a root chakra, but Knight of Roses and change. So the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality. That's the dynamic empowerment that can come through that keeps these connections growing on the same page I just heard, both inward and outward, so we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. When we are no longer disintegrated in our root chakra, we're not afraid of how we will survive or how our needs will be met, because we believe in love, we believe in the safety. We've taken that leap of faith to know that we manifest our reality. That, and you know, coming into union with a twin flame is one of the most audacious manifestations. You are a manifestation or a manifesting master if you are coming into the vicinity of union with your twin flame, or even align with that concept of twin flames. You are already well on your way to manifesting your destined path. And so you are able to release all the lower vibrational old and come into the new. Knight of Roses. In the reverse, don't get so caught up in the routine that you lose sight of adventure. Okay, so it's time to get out of routine and mix it up a little bit. Traveling together, I just heard. You know, stepping out of the comfort zone, getting out of this stigma that these connections can't be celebrated out in broad daylight. How are the feminines experiencing these changes? Yeah, there's reunion. You don't see it coming. Again, your divine counterpart is planning a surprise. So be careful not to hold up in those stubborn, disbelieving paradigms. Believe in it. Gotta believe in it, feminines. You don't see it. This Ace of Swords is truth, and you're gonna have it confirmed twice. You just don't see that yet. What? Reunion. So changes are coming. And masculines, wow, changes. No longer are you going to be separate and abandoned and able to tell yourself there's nobody that loves you on the planet, because you're freaking feminine loves you, divine masculines. And so this is the Tower. It's like you've been looking for love and nobody loves you. Woe is you, divine masculines, you sensitive heartthrobs, you. Your feminine loves you. And that's the end of you being able to whine about being all alone, never finding your person. This is gonna hit you like a bag of change upside the third eye. So divine masculines, yeah, you're not gonna be able to unsee this ever again. Okay. May it be clear. Bye for now, everybody.